are back in. It's the elevation on Fan Day Nation. I am Danny Williams. Mark Jackson right here. Looking good today, Mark. Coach Geoff Gersh right here, all the way to my left here. That's your right to left on your dial.
Yeah, stage left. Stage left.
We had to get together. It's not quite an emergency edition of the program, right, Mark? It's
not quite.
Per se.
We had to get together as your Denver Nuggets last night forced a Game 7 with an incredible, maybe the best playoff victory of these two series for the Nuggets. And the Thunder on the brink there. The pressure all on the Thunder. The Nuggets pumped up. What's going to happen here in this Game 7 and what you take from the Game 6?
We are
You're
here
there, Mark.
Pump you up. You know something I forgot before we started to film this? I was going to bring my I Believe flag or towel that they give you there.
Right. I almost wore some playoff gear that Williams brought me from a couple years ago, but I kind of want to get a new one. I want to get a new Western Conference Finals.
And it's kind of
You want me to get you a new one?
Showing up to a class.
I see what you're getting at.
I would like to have before Christmas or...
Oh, man. I mean, last night felt like Christmas, if you ask me. Just to not have the season end was so important, right? We said don't get eliminated. The number one rule of the game is don't get eliminated, just like most Extreme Challenge. And here they are. They got one game left. It's going to Oklahoma City. It's going to be one of two things in that joint. It's going to be bonkers loud, like louder than ever, because they're doing well, or it's going to be quiet as a mouse, librarian style. I hope to God it's that second one.
Well, let me tell you what it was.
They just shut them up.
On this Thursday night. It was amazing. The energy was so much better.
Talk about the atmosphere.
Than it was. The atmosphere.
You were there.
Then in Game 4, I mean, and the fans have a lot to do with it. In football, they call it the 12th man. The fans have a lot to do with it, and I think everybody. I got to give Denver Nuggets Nation the hands a high five or whatever. But they showed up. Yeah. Everybody showed up. I was actually screaming, "Refs, you suck! Refs, you suck! Refs, you suck!"
That was popular.
That was a very popular cheer last night.
4 minutes. What's the over-under on Game 7 refs you suck chant?
Oh, my God, man. It was crazy. But
Mark, here's what I was thinking about. So you played, for the Broncos. Did you like it more making the home fans cheer their asses off or shutting up the road fans? Because the Nuggets got to shut up some road fans.
Did you like being cheered for?
I like to cheer for.
Cheered for. Right? You make that play.
I'm glass half full most
as opposed to just hitting them with that.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I remember playing the Raiders in the L.A. Coliseum. Is when they're the L.A. Raiders.
Yes.
The Oakland Raiders, the L.A. Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hate you.
Where are they going next?
I don't care about
Vegas. What are those franchises?
Then after that, we're
talking Nuggets. Some key points. I just got to hit just a couple of key points. They won it. They won the game in the paint, and I think that was really big.
They did.
Nikola showed up. Jamal Murray, his flu game. That's one of the things I wanted to hit on was. Do you remember Michael Jordan in Game 5 of the Utah Jazz with the finals?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He had the flu. He went 38-7-5 in that game in a victory. Jamal Murray went 25-8-7, and it was really big for him. First of all, to show up because a lot of fans were like, "Oh, it's a ghost." But it was Jamal Murray. And then for him to actually connect on some of those early buckets.
Oh, early hits from Jamal are big hits.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't get to 40 till you get to 20. And he was pretty much had 11 after the first quarter, was dialed in, but you could tell he was fatigued as well. He got 40-plus minutes in that game. He
played the most, 42 minutes in the game, the most by any Nuggets player.
And when you talk about the most and you talk about points in the paint, the Nuggets had the most points in the paint per game this season. So even in the game they lost on Tuesday against Oklahoma City where they just couldn't finish that fourth quarter, man, they were kicking their ass in the paint. And if you go back, should we go back just 1 year? Ready?
Okay.
The Dallas Mavericks were dunking all over Oklahoma City. They were throwing alleys. They were doing baseline. Like, dunker position. That guy, I can't even name Lively, Derek Lively or something. These guys, I don't even know who they were.
Blake. It's Blake.
Yeah, we're just pumping and dunking on Oklahoma City. I think the way to beat these guys is to get it in the paint, score paint. Plus, those three-pointers are easier to shoot when the ball comes from inside out as opposed to going around the outside.
Three-point game got those stats as well. Nuggets 37% last night. The Thunder 27%. So that was big. They were 11 for 40, Nuggets 12 for 32. So less three-point attempts, but more three-pointers made.
When the Nuggets won Game 3 that night, they were down early in that game. yet there was a certain desire on the floor that was oozing out of Jamal Murray, and then that kind of translates to the entirety of the team. There's just no quit. The same thing happened last night where you just saw a version of the Nuggets that's the championship version of the Nuggets. That nucleus is still there, okay? And like we've said in previous podcasts, the Thunder are 24 years old as a collective, 24 years old. They would be, if they were to win it all, the first team since 1977. That's like Bill Walton's Portland Trailblazers to win it all, if they were to win it all. So NBA history tells us that 28, 29, 30-year-old stars win championships. That's from the Jordans to the Keems to the Shaqs and Kobe's. Takes a little bit of maturity. Yeah. The history of the league tells us that the Thunder aren't ready yet. They've never been past the second round. They've never been past the second round.
You guys ever use AI? You ever heard of this thing?
Never. What's that?
It's
like a blow bot?
It's close. It's even more high-tech than getting a road job. It's called artificial intelligence, and you can ask your computer to answer stuff for you.
All right.
So I was like, hey, Grok.
What did you query?
Grok, am I saying that right? Grok, I asked, how many players on the Oklahoma City Thunder have won a World NBA championship? The number is
0.0.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? Every player on the Nuggets starting five
Swing and a miss.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Every player on the Nuggets starting five has a ring. They have one guy on their whole team that has a ring. Do you want to venture a guess as to who it is? You saw him play last night, and he's a nice player on their team.
The Thunder?
The Thunder have one player on their team who won a ring.
Maybe Caruso? Was he on somebody's bench?
Mark. Say it with your chest.
Did I crush it?
Caruso.
The correct answer is Alex Caruso played with the Lakers in the bubble.
That's right.
There you go.
Got one.
Good one. Good get.
Yeah. So the reason I brought all that up was I just want to see, do they have any guys that have done it before? They do have one dude. He's like their seventh man, right? Boy, I don't know if that's going to be enough. And then their head coach.
Caruso?
Who'd you rather have? Would you rather have Mark Daigneault, or would you rather have...
You know something? I've been kind of ragging on Adelman, but he made some key timeouts.
It's his job if he wins a series.
Isn't it his job already?
Mm-hmm. It's No.
No.
Hell no. Don't go down that road. No. Don't get like,
just caught up.
We keep
the sauce.
Well, yeah, it is. That's perfect.
This is Malone's team for sure.
No, listen, I appreciate you saying that, Geoff, because when you think like we have to keep a semblance, we had a pretty good thing. We just needed to shake it up a little bit. No, this team has some big adjustments to make. You need a new general manager. You need a new head coach. And I want a bunch of new role players here. I'm not trying to blow the whole thing up. And that's win, lose, or draw here, no matter what comes out of this championship series. Because no matter what, it's going to be a new era of Nuggets basketball with the new executive, hierarchy, a new coach, and a new group of characters.
But you just got done saying don't fall in love with the sauce, right?
Yeah.
You say, but if 48 minutes from now he wins a game, he's the head coach for next year. So would that be the epitome of falling in love with the sauce?
No. That's a proven. He's proving that he could. So
possibly be that new face.
The Thunder, they won 68 games this year. 68 games. There's been less than 10 teams in the history of the National Basketball Association. Tommy Legler, Wilbon, Stephen A. Okay, listen, here's my point.
Association.
The Nuggets, if they're to pull off this series, are beating a historically good regular season team.
Well, that's
historically
wasn't that the slight on the Nuggets when they won the championship? They had to beat a 6th seed and a 5th seed,
right,
to get to the championship. So it's like, you got the easiest road to the championship.
Jimmy Butler, they didn't have to beat a tough Celtics team.
Right, so that was...
They got kind of like Marcus saying.
Good point. Yeah, you didn't try to make that point, but I'm going to take that and make it a point.
For you.
Yeah, just for you. Yeah, that was the slight, the tarnishment of their... NBA championship was who did you beat to get there? You had an easy road. If they beat OKC and when they beat OKC, they move on through the Timberwolves into the championship and win that thing.
Yeah,
no excuses.
Well, the Russell Westbrook redemption tour.
There's a couple ways. There's a couple ways to look at this thing. So, while everyone was wanting to kind of bury these Nuggets and already presume because of Russ, they're shorthanded, that they're eventually going to run into a wall. The wall being the Thunder. If they are to get through the Thunder, The Boston Celtics have been eliminated. Their season is that's not yet. They won. They're forced to game 6.
Shoot.
They're forcing a game 6, but it looks like their season's going to end. Okay, so if that's the case, it looks like there'll be a new NBA champion. There'll be a new NBA champion.
No repeats.
Whether it be the New York Knickerbockers, okay? Whether it be the Timberwolves, who are dangerous, okay? We'll worry about them in the next series. But what I'm saying is,
Cleveland.
instead of saying, man, the Nuggets blew a chance when the road was just paved for them without the Celtics in their way and maybe without a Western Conference that's not as tough as we thought it was going to be. Well, why don't we just go capitalize right now in this year? Go beat the Thunder. Go get through the Timberwolves, who are without Karl Anthony Towns, who was a problem for the Nuggets. Get to the NBA Finals against the Knicks, who? The Pacers? And the rest will be history.
I saw a funny little Facebook meme that had said, like, can you believe that one of these 4 players is going to win an NBA championship? And it was Halliburton. It was Ant. Right, it was Karl Anthony
and Jalen Brunson.
No, and then it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I go, doesn't he have a game tonight at 6 o'clock? Did you make this graphic about 48 minutes early, or maybe 96 minutes early, or maybe 101 minutes early? Maybe we're going to need 5 minutes of OT to take that game 7.
Well, we'll see.
I think that the energy
130 game.
Just got to win one game by 1 point.
It's the maturity, the professionalism of the Nuggets. You said it, Geoff. They got 5 guys on that starting 5 who have won it. Knows what it looks like, feels like, smells like, tastes like. The Thunder got to lose hard a few times. Yeah. And sometimes, as you're kind of weighing in and the team is evolving, and then you get to a spot where maybe you never break through.
Yeah.
Hey, how many championships were Durant and Harden and Russ and Serge Ibaka supposed to have? They're supposed to
Paul George won
2, 3, 4, 5. None of those guys except for Kevin Durant has a championship. Paul George was later. He didn't really pick those guys. But the point is, look at that Thunder team, an all-time great team. This Thunder team has proven that they're ascending. Okay, but until you tasted the goodness, you taste the biscuit with that honey sauce. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. The biscuit. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later, too.
Hey, here's a break. Here's a cool tidbit.
Okay.
Julian Straub.
I was just going to say, we're 13 minutes into the show. We haven't even said Julian Straub.
Choo-choo.
You just played
Choo-choo.
20 minutes, 15 quality points. Big points. Because that's what, if there's any other, flaw that we've seen in the Nuggets game is when Nikola's on the bench, it's no offense. It seemed to be chaos. And no one seemed to want to take the shot. And I think Julian came in and played not just some quality minutes on defensive side, but he's also scoring, which I think is what the Nuggets need to beat the OKC Thunder.
Bro, Julian Strawther was a hero last night. He was our Lou Dort. Dort hit 3 threes in game 5.
Nice.
3 threes in game 5. Just a role player, just a dude came out, you got a hot hand, and it was the difference. I know the Nuggets went 1 for 15 outside of Jokic in the fourth quarter, those not named Jokic in game 5, okay?
Wow.
They needed, listen, I'll give you another reason why maybe it's Adelman's job. What I called the trust minutes that Julian Strawther got last night, you can easily throw Russ out there. Peyton Watson's played maybe a few more bigger minutes than Julian Strawther. But the trust minutes that Adelman gave Julian Strawther, if they go on to win this series and that guy be the difference and maybe even chip into a Game 7 victory, that's a move that, maybe nobody saw coming except for Adelman, and that's a big reason why maybe he could be a real candidate to get this job.
Real key role player out of Gonzaga.
You were right there. Tell me what it was like watching Julian Strawther.
It was awesome. So, you talked about the Russell Westbrook redemption tour.
Yes.
Love Russ, but when Russ comes in the game, what do you have?
Chaos?
It could be good. It could be bad. I think he had 14 turnovers for the Nuggets last night. That's another thing that they definitely have to lower that number.
Had 15 the night before, or the game before, too.
So, yeah, not good. And a majority of those percentage-wise.
Somebody need to pick up Michael Porter Jr.'s slack. Jamal Murray was sick as a dog. I don't know if he's pooping his pants and had food poisoning or what it was, or if he's got that little flu bug or whatever. Didn't go through his normal pregame routine. Last night made me think he was hitting that IV or something. You know how pregame regimented stuff like that guys are. Made me a little bit nervous. Saw a couple guys, the D-Max and the Romy Beans, deleting tweets about Jamal's not out here yet. They were asked to do that.
Wow.
He does play. He does start. He's hot right off the bat. Again, hot right off the bat. I thought Jamal was the key, the difference, the passion, the desire. There's some things that he brings to the table that you can't quantify it, measure it. You can't bottle it up. It's hard to muster up again. You don't know what he's eating, drinking to pull it out of him, but they needed him last night. Jamal Murray was special last night, and he's been special in these big moments lots of times before. But let's take a break here.
That's a good
okay. So
it's a banging.
If the Nuggets are to win another championship, what do they get if you're a player and you win a championship? That
R-I-N-G ring, baby.
Yeah, you get that bling. Okay.
You got no ring.
So
I got one in my pocket.
So check this out. We're not players, but we like to celebrate in that bling as well. We like to look good, feel good,
How do we do that,
play good? Well, whether it be that necklace, whether it be that bracelet, whether it be that ring, Niko Stones, they got it every day, all day. You got a lot of money to spend, high roller? He got stuff for you. You're on a budget like me, 4 kids broke. Father Rick wants all your money.
They got him too.
They got something for me too. I've dabbled, and I'm a repeat customer. These guys are great. Go check them out. Do a little quick search. Niko Stones has everything that you're going to want, man, for every occasion. They're great, and they're great partners in what we do. Go give them an opportunity for your anniversary, your graduation, your birthdays, your Christmases, all that good stuff. There's nothing better than when my wife gets a piece of jewelry or my daughter's. It's the best.
Niko Stone.
All right, let's go to break, come back, set it up again, and keep rolling. This is the Elevation on Fan Day Nation. Back in the Elevation on Fan Day Nation. I am Danny Williams, Mark Jackson, and Geoff Gersh. Second segment. Going to move on to the Broncos schedule, which was just released a couple of days ago. The schedule release stuff is a big deal. Teams putting little videos together. Teams are getting in trouble, deleting their like the Colts. The Broncos do a good job. They've had Peyton involved. This year they did a mutton busting thing where they had all the kids on the riding that mutton busting.
You ever busted a mutton?
I've watched it plenty of times.
Right. Did you happen to
Frontier
see?
Days?
Yeah, the Bronco release, they did the mutton.
I didn't, but I know it was on national news.
Yeah,
it was good.
I think I saw Van Pelt talking
family friendly. It was cute. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah,
it was good. Not too edgy.
So who was doing it? Was it
kids?
Kids? But
yeah, kids with helmets on.
Any of the Broncos kids, or was it just kids?
I think it was just kids.
It was
just showing what's cool.
Yeah, but then they had a helmet.
Colorado is known for mutton busting.
Team they were playing or something, and then there was a reason why each team would lose every time they fell out.
It's pretty cool when you go to the stock show and you get to see that. Go down. It's
absolutely.
Cool thing. So scary. The schedule itself for the Broncos. Let's have a little look. I love it. I think the schedule's unique.
Do you love it or
absolutely loved it? Okay, so here's why. Just give me a minute here. I'll let you guys kind of do your thing with the schedule. You start the season off with 2 wins, okay? You host Tennessee, and you're at Indy, okay? You get to see Cam Ward. You get to see the number 1 overall pick right off the bat. Yep. Guy's exciting. Guy's unique. Should make for a kind of a marquee opening weekend in the NFL. You beat them. You beat the Colts. It's a nice start. Then, I don't know if I go through the whole schedule or not. Maybe just tell you things I like about the schedule. I'll just tell you things I like about the schedule.
Tell me what you like about the
Week 5, you're at the Eagles. I love that, man. The world champs. It's going to be it's going to be a marquee game. You're hoping they have a little Super Bowl hangover kind of stuff, and they're retooled, regrouped, rebuilt a little bit, and you hope the Broncos go in there and get a measuring stick.
I was just going to say, it's a fun measuring stick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand that they are the champs. They have the target on their back, and those are fun teams to play against. Yep. If you ask me, I'd rather lose to the champs than whoop up on some other team. Sometimes, maybe not.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Getting that competitive nature in a game of that ilk. Is that a prime time or is that daytime? That'll be daytime.
That's a daytime game.
East Coast daytime?
Yeah, that's a daytime game. I like week 8. You're hosting the Dallas Cowboys. You don't get to see the Cowboys very often. And the last time they did was at the lowest point of the Broncos' kind of tenureship. I don't know if Fans was the coach or Fangio, but they went and put like a 50 points on Dallas. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was just an absolute beatdown at kind of their lowest point. Other things I like, you get in week 15, you host the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be cold as hell. It's going to be probably some Packers fans out there, but you don't get to see the Packers very often. That's a great game on the schedule. You wrap up the season week 17 at the Chiefs, and you host. The game could be flexed out or into a primetime spot. The Chargers, which one of those two games you're hoping, if you're the Broncos, is for 11 or 12 wins and maybe for the division. So that's kind of the stuff that stood out to me. There's some highs and lows of the road to what I think is 10 or 11 wins. And just kind of, Mark, you as a former player, tell me some things divisionally that stood out to you and things that you look for as a player.
The flights out to Philadelphia, the flight out to Washington, those are long flights.
Yeah.
I hate it. I learned to hate. My rookie year, I thought, oh, it's cool. We're going to New York. So we played the New York Giants. We played the New York Jets. And I want to say that we played Washington there, too. I know Giants and Jets for sure. And I remember those being like long games. It's on turf.
Yeah.
So it's, just miserable. So
I see one other long flight on there, too, Mark. If you look at this Jets game here, that's actually not at New York. That's going to be in jolly old London.
Yes.
That is correct.
That's right.
So that's cool. You get a bye week overseas. Isn't that fun?
Do you know what? Those London games are low-scoring grinders. They're muckers. That's a perfect game for the Broncos to go beat the Jets there. Jets won't score more than 14 or points in that game. I love the way the schedule's shaped.
I'm looking at the division schedule. What I'm seeing is 5 out of their 6 division games are played in November or later.
Okay.
Sometimes, for instance, my beloved Vikings are playing 2 division games week 1 and week 2. So right out of the gate, you got 2 out of your 6 out of the way.
They have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, you got six division games. Everyone has
schedule's tougher than the Vikings.
Look at that. Your 5 games are after November 6th. 2 Raiders, 2 Chiefs, and a Chargers. So
they're playing Chiefs on Christmas.
Say this.
I actually think that's a benefit, though, because I think you can be grinding and you can be rolling by then and you can be rocking and rolling and kind of be playing your best football. You might have a win on the Super Bowl champs already by then, plus, 2 games and then a bye week.
There's ebbs and flows to this schedule that I really like. You get yourself some momentum with a couple of wins before you have to go play a Chargers team that may or may not be better. They're retooled a little bit. You get like the breath of fresh air with the new coach, pumps everybody up. Everyone's working hard. Everyone's kind of walking on eggshells a little bit. I'm not so sure they're going to be better, okay? But the same thing applies to the Broncos a little bit. The same aspirations. You have the Bengals, who are notorious slow starters, okay? So if you can go, that's going to be a marquee game there. That's a measuring stick.
On the road?
Yeah. Then you get
Monday night.
And hey, let's go back to that Bengals game for a second. So what do the Bengals have that are pretty incredible?
The wide receivers.
Wide receivers.
Offense.
What the Broncos have that's pretty incredible.
D-back. Yo.
Yeah.
So that'll be a super fun one to watch just for the secondary battles.
Here's my thought here.
Yeah.
For one, we know over the last handful of years, slow starts for the Broncos have not meant anything. The Broncos have clawed their way back into the season 2 years ago with Russ and last year with Bo. There's been some fast starts the Broncos have had in years that didn't pan out, from Josh McDaniels to almost, post kind of glory days of the Broncos. Here's my point. You win these 2. Say you lose the first 2. Say you lose the next 3. Chargers, Bengals, Eagles. You're 2-3. You're not reeling at that point. Then you get a chance to play lowly Jets, sorry-ass New York Football Giants, a Cowboys team that hates themselves, can't even get out of their own way, and before a Texans team that's kind of your equal, and then you have the Raiders. So there's a chance here where you get back and create
some momentum.
Yeah, you get some momentum. Couple games over 500. Few games over 500 before you have to go beat the Raiders, the Chiefs before a Week 12 bye, which I love the bye at that time to regroup. If it's too early, then you got too much football on the other side. Right. If it's too late, then you wish you had it earlier. I like the bye week, and you tell me as a player. I love it right there.
Love it. I love it.
You sure you don't like shutting off the opponent's crowds like on a Thursday night in Arrowhead? You sure you don't want to catch that touchdown and listen to all those loud
moments? That's not just any day. What is up with the NFL? Yeah, it's like Santa Claus comes out.
That's a Christmas present for all of us.
Jesus' birthday.
So here's the thing. Dan Reeves, interesting statistic Dan Reeves would tell us before every camp.
If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. You never stay the same.
A million minutes and a billion
That is not a Dan Reeves quote, but it sounds good.
Back in my day.
I thought it was.
I'm going to attribute that to you, Dan.
Yeah.
But what he told us was in his career, which spanned from being a Dallas Cowboy player.
Landry to Falcons Super Bowl appearance.
if they win the first game, all of the teams that he's played on, if they win the first game, they had a 73% chance of making the playoffs.
Love that. Love those early
Very
season
powerful.
numbers.
Yeah.
Love those numbers when you're 0-2 to start the season, 0-3, 1-3.
It's difficult to come out of that. And as you said, the Broncos have been able to bounce back from some of those tumultuous starts.
Hey, Rockstar, what was the longest winning streak you had to start a season?
Ooh,
Can you think about that?
I want to say 9 games.
Mark was on winners, bro. Mark was only on winning teams, bro.
Yeah,
okay, do you know what we should do here?
It's like you could have a 9-game winning streak from weeks 3 to 12, but you might have lost early. But the season on a heater is
I think we won most.
You know what we should do?
I know my rookie year we did. We beat the Raiders.
Stellan Grumman.
Take that, CJ Kane.
I sealed the deal in that game.
Hey, Danny, I got a text from Jerry.
Jerry Jones?
No, he said, how they treating you?
It's been pretty good. There's highs and lows, Jerry. You know how it is, man, on the streets out there.
Highs and lows, ebbs and flows, baby.
Real quick, we're going to do this. We're going to wrap this segment up with, we're going to go game by game. Everyone's going to keep their own win tally.
Okay.
So we're going to start right here with the Titans week 1. I say win.
Dub.
W.
I go week 2 right to the Colts. Not sure who their quarterback is. It's 2 wins in a row for the 2-0 Broncos for me.
Yep, 2-0 face.
Okay. This game is at the Chargers, or where's
I did give a win on that one. I don't like playing the Colts.
No, that's at.
This is a fast.
I'm going to give them the L. Keep going.
Okay.
All right.
So you have an L. You're 1-1. Remember your record.
1-1.
Okay, I'm 2-0. I'm have them taking a loss at the Chargers. And on September 21st, I have the Broncos at 2-1 at that point.
I'll go 3-0.
Okay. I'm 1-2.
I have the Broncos losing to the Bengals in what will be a thriller. Both teams in the 30s, and it comes down to one or two plays down the stretch in the fourth quarter. 2-2 Broncos at that point.
I'll go ahead and give the Broncos a tough loss there, 3-1 at home. They're reeling that they lost that one, but it might help them in the next week.
Upset win. Now they're 2-2.
Okay, I'm 2-2 going into a October 5th game at the Philadelphia Eagles, the world champs. As much of an unfamiliar NFC opponent as they will be for us, we will be an unfamiliar AFC opponent for them. So, again, they're the world champs. They're stacked. Their coach cries. They got the tons of, Saquon's, he's special again, and they're super-duper talented. I think that's a loss for the Broncos. They're 2-3.
Lost 2-3.
Lost 3-2.
Okay, but this is where the Broncos turn it on for me. They beat the Jets in London.
Yep.
Win.
They beat the New York Football Giants.
Yep.
To get to 4-3 for me.
4-3.
They beat the Dallas Cowboys, who at that point in the season, I did not like their offseason. There's a couple guys who haven't got their big money yet there. It's like everyone's playing for themselves.
Who's good over
Dallas. They got players. They got the Micah Parsons. They got the receivers. They got, Dak is underrated.
You got a running back. Do they got a running back?
That's a victory for the Broncos for me, and I have
Javonte Williams.
There you go. Okay, you know what? Win for the Broncos.
5-3 for me at that point after they beat the Cowboys, and that's 3 straight wins.
You remember what Judy did against us?
Yeah, that's.
I hope Javonte doesn't go off.
Judy didn't get into the win that game though.
No, he did get the L. Take that L with you on your way back to Cleveland. I'm going to give them the win there as well. So what's that, 5-3?
For me, it is, yes.
I got
me as well.
6-2.
Okay, you start November, and then you are going to the Texans. And I'll say a little quip here for anyone who's like, well, sophomore slump for Bo Nix and maybe the Broncos this year.
Let's go back.
Okay.
I never liked that.
I never liked that.
I had a better season.
Check this out. The Texans last year, second year under C.J. Stroud, bunch of young guys, second year under that head coach, kind of had a sophomore slump, weren't as good as they were the year before, yet what did they do? Win 10 games, won a playoff game, the Texans, and were this close to going to the AFC Championship game. So if the Denver Broncos are due for that same kind of sophomore slump as the Texans had last year, I'll take that to the bank, Senator. The blood bank.
Ooh.
Sorry, that's a win.
I got an L there.
4 straight.
I got an L.
So they're 5-4 for me.
I got the 6-3 Broncos going into November 6th against the Raiders. Rebuild, Geno Smith. We got Pete Carroll in there.
No, that's home. Home game.
Oh,
home game.
Dub.
Yeah, I got the dub there.
Dub.
I have the Broncos 7-3 and winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games before they play the Kansas City Chiefs at home, where they will lose. lose.
They're going to kick a field goal into the right guard.
They will lose that.
I got to win there.
You got to win there?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going
to give them a loss.
Absolutely.
I'm at 7-4.
7-4.
And we go into a bye week.
7-4.
You with me?
Good living.
Funny, we're all the same, but different.
Ooh, this is where it gets...
This is where it gets weird. At
7-4.
Washington here, I'm going to let you guys start.
I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to L.
He's nice.
I think he's too young. I think that I'm going to either...
The only thing that might help you is the bye week, but I don't...
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think I take a loss there, and my Broncos are 7-5 after that.
Cross country.
I'm going with the dub there. They're 8-4 at that point.
Night game.
Because if they can beat the Chiefs, as I'm predicting, prognosticating,
Okay.
and off a bye week, they're coming into Washington with their hair on fire.
Okay, so I have them losing to Washington. You start
I'm
December.
8-4.
You start December. I'm 7-5. Jeff, where are you?
8-4.
Okay, I love that, guys. December 7th, they're at the Oakland Raiders. This is going to be the first time in years that I'm listening to a good podcast, and I disagree with everything being said. Shout out Bronco Billy. Yeah, I have them beating and sweeping the Raiders on December 7th, back up to 8-5, right there in the mix to win the division. Go.
I just hate the Raiders. So they lose there. It's just funky. There's no explanation. They're 8-4 going into the Raiders, and they get an L, and you're just mad as hell for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think I screwed up. I have them at 7-5 because I gave them the loss there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get it back there. Even though it's in Vegas, the one thing you worry about is like those Vegas nights. Lead to crazy Sunday afternoons. I went to a game in Vegas where the Vikings played the Raiders. The final score was 3-0.
Ugly.
They must have been out boozing hard last night like they were on that sex boat in Lake Minnetonka.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Oh, time.
Beautiful.
I remember that.
Raider win at the Raiders, sweep the Raiders. You're 8-5.
I'm 8-5.
I'm 8-5 too.
Then you got Jordan Love.
December
Trevor Lawrence,
14th. That'll be a marquee. That's a marquee game on the schedule. I love that game there. I think you beat the Green Bay Packers. I think you beat the Green Bay Packers.
I'll take the win.
You beat
9-5. This is looking real scary.
Yeah, to me, you're at 9-5, and you're hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the coolest part of that is you're going to see Travis Hunter. We get to see Travis Hunter play both ways. I hope Trav has a pick six and catches a touchdown for 70 yards.
Nice.
In a 31-14 Broncos win.
Damn, I'm buying tickets to that game.
Yeah, that's a great game to go to.
9-5.
9-5 at that point for me.
Me as well.
Okay.
At KC,
I think
Christmas
Jordan
Day.
Love's going to play ball out, guys. I don't know. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is, but sometimes these Packer games are like damn home games around here with all these stupid cheeseheads. So
I'm 10-5 actually. That's my numbers with the Jacksonville win. Is 10-5.
Yeah, I got him in.
I have a 10-5. You're at Kansas City at that point.
I'm 10-5.
The Broncos.
They gave him hell last year. Though.
I'm 10-6.
I have them losing in week 11 at home to the Chiefs.
Right. So the Chiefs sweep them.
I have them. The Chiefs are going to be a little bit more high flying. The weather will be not as bad as it will be during.
What did the
this
Chiefs
game.
do in the offseason to improve their roster?
Oh, they drafted. They
got DeAndre towards the end of last year.
Yeah, but they added another receiver in the draft.
I don't know. The Chiefs, I know last year was a giveaway game, but the Chiefs, the Broncos should have actually.
Yeah.
I hate to should on people, but minus a missed field goal, they sweep the Chiefs last year. So I'm not convinced that the Chiefs have a dominant, although they won.
They split for me.
Yeah.
And then to me, I'm at 10 wins going into the Jacksonville game. You have to win one out of the last two to guarantee you a playoff spot. And maybe if the Chargers are good and the Chiefs, if the Chargers are good, then each team would be the first one to win 12 games, wins the division, or maybe 11 wins the division, but guarantees you go into the playoffs. I don't know if I have the Broncos winning at the Chiefs here or at the end of the season, and to be determined, could be flexed out that Chargers game. But I have the Broncos winning at least 10 games and winning 10 up until the Jacksonville game with 2 chances to get at 11.
So they finished, 11-6.
I have them at 11-6.
I got them going 10-7 with a win against the LA Chargers, sweeping the Chargers. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I had them losing that first game.
In week 3.
Yeah.
No, I had them going 3-0. My bad. So, yeah.
So what's your final?
I am sweeping the Chargers 10-7.
Okay.
They kind of
and Mark, where you at?
November and December a little bit.
Well, I think we wound up at the same. We wound up at the same
record with
end of the year record.
Different roads. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
Are we being over optimistic? No, 3 of us have double-digit wins for the Broncos.
I think you have to ride the wave. They're ascending.
Did Vegas come out yet? Did Vegas come out with an over-under?
You said it earlier. I think the national audience is starting to really appreciate what the Broncos have done with Peyton Manning creating the culture, what the Pinner Walton family has done to create and establish something that's really big here in Denver. And Denver Broncos now, instead of being kind of a laughingstock after the Russell Wilson deal, are now becoming the team to look out for.
Love that.
I love about you always talk about ownership because you have the best.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you know what the best
So,
is.
and we went through that period where there was no ownership, and you saw a rudderless team, win a Super Bowl 50 and just go into the abyss, basically.
No, I mean, it's amazing what the difference, when everything's organized at the top.
Starts at the top, right?
At the bottom.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up. Great stuff. That's, the schedule as a whole. I like how you said we are arrived around 10 or 11 wins. We just took different roads to get there. It's going to be a great season. Tons of marquee games. I mean, when do you get the Eagles? When do you get Green Bay? And we know our division is one of the best in sports. So let's take a quick break here. I want to talk real quick about intentional spaces. Mark, your stuff's beautiful. It's organized. It wasn't always like that. You got a lot of stuff, man. You've lived in different cities. You lived in different houses. You're a mover and shaker. You're a man about town. How'd you get so organized? Your garage, your pantries, your closets. How'd you do it?
It is intentional spaces, that is.
Okay.
Yeah, intentional spaces is so important for people that are busy on the go. And if you're like me, I'm not a detail guy. I'm a clutter guy. I am the clutter guy. I'm a bit of a hoarder. I hate throwing away things because every time I throw... Did you say that?
Well, there was
every time I throw something away. Have you ever done this? You throw something away and then you need it. You're like, I threw it away. So don't throw it away.
Yeah.
Just get it organized. And that's literally what Ramona and Tia does over there at
intentionalspacesdenver.com.
There you go.
All right, let's go to break. Come back on the other side. It's The Elevation on Fan Day Nation. Final segment, episode 5, The Elevation on Fan Day Nation. Danny Williams, Mark Jackson, Geoff Gersh here, previewing expectations for Game 7. A historic Game 7 will happen in OKC. That's what 68 wins gets you in a regular season. Our predictions and some expectations inside of the game. Don't have a lot of time to do it. We don't need a lot of time to do it. I thought our stuff in the first segment was great. A little bit I looked at what happened inside of Game 6, and we kind of already gave you a little bit of what's going to happen in Game 7. But I'll say this right off the bat. OKC atmosphere is a collegiate-like building. It'll be popping off there, okay? So
what else is there to do in Oklahoma City?
Nothing.
Really. I mean, seriously.
Farm?
Seriously.
I think farm?
Right.
Farming.
Watch the dust.
Mate. You can mate.
Mating.
Sexy times.
Some mating going on.
And then other than that,
I can't think of anything else.
you got to take the fruit and stuff out of the ground and all that kind of stuff.
Harvesting.
Yeah, that's it.
Some harvesting. Okay.
So
basketball.
I'm going to give you some expectations for me real quick. I'm going to hand it over to you guys. The pedigree. The Nuggets have been there. They've reached that mountaintop. And as good as OKC is, they're incredibly young and talented. There's going to be some guys on this team. They got multiple future All-Stars. Chet is unique. But right now, today, 2025, this team is not ready to win at a high level yet. You saw the progression of the Nuggets trying to kind of reach and get to the point of where Golden State was.
Yes.
That didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen when Jokic and Jamal and Aaron Gordon were 24 years old. Happened when they were 27, 28, 26, 29 years old. And OKC may be the team of the future. But give me the Nuggets in Game 7, tight Game 7. First one to 105 to 100 maybe is your winner.
Ooh.
Take that for data.
I like that data. So in Game 6, the OKC Thunder fielded 13 players, got time on the court. The Denver Nuggets, 8 players.
Yeah.
That, I think, is going to be a big difference in this game. 1:30 tip-off for that game. We saw it happen here at Denver where just the Nuggets look gassed. So literally, what I'm praying, please, Elman, listen to me. Listen, Lisa, listen. Elman, listen. What I really would like to see is DeAndre Jordan get some time on the court in the paint. I've been asking for this the whole series. I love the fact that Julian Strawthers came in and was able to contribute. I think DeAndre Jordan has a chance to contribute. Make that number 9. And as you said, Danny, much to that point is you keep OKC under 110 points for the game, you win that game.
What's final score?
119-112. a repeat of the Game 3.
Let's go.
Game 1, actually. Game 1, I think.
Jeff, we got about 3 minutes.
Hey, you know why they had to play 13 guys yesterday?
Why?
Oklahoma City?
Searching for answers, desperate.
They're hacks. They play terrible defense. They foul all
did
the
have a
time,
lot of fouls.
and they got in foul trouble. Here's what I liked. The Nuggets put them in foul trouble. They didn't just foul you on accident. Attacking the paint, like we said earlier, points in the paint, aggressively rebounding, boxing out, going for loose balls, whatever it was. And for Coach Dagnall to keep Shea out there with 3 fouls in that second quarter was not very sharp.
Can't you put some grown man on their asses?
Some grown.
I mean, they don't young bunch
They don't
of 20.
have-
Can't you air
DeAndre Jordan is pretty grown.
This series is the epitome of boys versus men. This is boys versus men.
He's too grown now.
Boys.
And I'm going with the men.
I know. I don't know if everybody's saying he's a little long in tooth, but the 2 games that he played in the previous series, he put in some good minutes. He played in the previous series, 1 for 1. So you know he's not going to be taking shots that a Russell Westbrook would take. But he shouldn't be
They
taking.
have weird small lineups too when they take Hartenstein off the floor.
Exactly. Who do we have? What big men do we have on the court when Nicola's on the bench?
We don't got any.
Yeah.
Who's
they
the
don't
big man?
They
Jeff,
don't either.
give me a final score.
They got 2 big guys.
I'm going 119-106 Nuggets.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's the podcast. We're going to try to get in and film another one after Game 7. We have a couple of days to kind of prepare ourselves emotionally and mentally for what that game will be. I'm incredibly excited. It's going to be a historic weekend for the Denver Nuggets. If they can find a way to pull this thing off, man, what it'll do for the legacy of Jokic, for, Coach Adamman, for the future of this team, and moving forward, man, it'll just be great. But for Geoff Gersh, any final words? Good stuff.
Hey, shout out to the Dukes. We just won a huge softball championship.
I saw it.
And then CK Cup 5 is today. CK Christ the King. We're doing the Cup, our 5th one. Danny's been in it before. We're going to have some fun today. And then Nuggets on Sunday is going to be a blast. We'll be having some baseball going on, but if it's going on during baseball, I'm going to have it in the dugout for the kids to watch.
Anything else, Mark? Give me some final thoughts.
Legendary. Big win for the Denver Nuggets makes the franchise more palatable, more credible. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Credible. Credibility is what
builds
the
on the
Nuggets are
brand.
absolutely. So they're not a one-off team,
Not a
right?
one and done, not a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching or listening or however you consume the podcast. It's a big deal. Follow us. Do all that.
We love you. Yeah, we need you
guys.
Make sure you comment. You're commenting, but we want to be able to respond to your comments and actually engage with you guys.
We appreciate you guys, and we love you guys. Good night, Sheila.
Good night.
I'll never forget today.